I met Jeff at a Glassman Drum and Bugle Corps rehearsal. For years we were friends before we ever started dating. And the only reason we ever started dating was because a girlfriend of mine said she had a dream that he and I were married. And that I should really try, see what happens with this guy. So I thought to myself, I will give it a try. And I said yes to him when he asked me out.
I met Jen at a Glassman rehearsal that was at Wade High School, and I noticed her immediately and thought she was attractive. I thought she was probably a little out of my league. I just kind of hung out and made friends and did my thing for a couple of years, and eventually just kind of like found myself beside her and tried to hang out with her as much as possible. I ended up at a party one night which happened to be at her house, and a bunch of people were sitting on bed going through pictures, and I pulled out one of these pictures, and the strange thing about one of these pictures was there were people in this picture that I had seen before, and it wasn't like people I had met or knew. It was like I had a recurring dream that was over and over again, and probably hadn't even had it in 3 or 4 years at that point, but there was this recurring dream at a swimming pool, and I saw these kids that were swimming in a pool, and one of the girls got out of the pool and came up to me and asked me to come get in the pool. She asked me if I wanted to come swimming, and that was where the dream always ended. But I pulled that picture aside because that girl was in that picture when I looked at it, and I gave it to Jen, and I asked her, I said, who's this girl? And she said, well, that's me.
I thought that when I first met him that he was very much a geek and a nerd kind of guy, and even though he was a geek and a nerd, I'd never dated somebody like that before, I thought I needed a change because all the guys I dated before him were evil.
I thought she was attractive.
He had not a lot of friends in the Corps, but the ones that he had were they were very close, and I had a lot of friends, and they all thought that he was kind of a nerd, but like I said, I was ready to give a nerd a try.
She was a bass drummer, not a job that a typical woman would want to do. Women who drive trucks, women who drive cranes, bulldozers, and all that kind of stuff are insanely cool.
I had been dating Jeff for maybe 4 months, and he and I had our first argument, and I said to myself, oh no, I'm done with this. This is ridiculous. He doesn't agree with me. He's so wrong. And at that moment, when I was saying this stuff in my head and we're driving down the road in his car, I had a voice from God talk to me as plain as somebody next to me say, I gave you somebody who was kind and nice like you asked for, and you're going to throw him away?
There was this time when I kind of thought that maybe she was the one, and I was afraid to ask and be turned down. So what I kind of did was I kind of laid it out there, kind of like, well, you know, if you want to marry me, that would be okay with me. So that way I didn't have any chance of being turned down. And it's like, well, she could just let it go and say, hey, no, I'm just going to let that one alone. And then I didn't have the embarrassment of she said, no, I don't want to marry you.